The grand hall of the Galactic Academy buzzed with voices from 100 different species. The morning sun of Centauri Prime filtered through massive crystal windows, casting rainbow patterns across the marble floor. Students from every corner of the galaxy gathered for their daily assembly. Some had scales that shimmered like liquid metal. Others had wings that folded neatly against their backs. A few floated in containment suits filled with glowing gas. In the back row, a single human student sat quietly. His name was Alex Morrison. He wore the standard academy uniform, a simple gray jumpsuit that looked plain compared to the elaborate outfits of his alien classmates. His brown eyes stared straight ahead, his face showing no emotion. But inside, a storm was brewing. 2 seats away, a reptilian student named Kryn leaned toward his friend. Kryn's scales were deep purple, and his yellow eyes gleamed with mischief. Next to him sat Vexer, an insect-like being with multiple arms and compound eyes that reflected light in strange patterns. "Look at the human," Kryn whispered, loud enough for others to hear. "His species just got banned from building warships." Laughter erupted around them. Several students turned to stare at Alex. Some pointed. Others covered their mouths but couldn't hide their smiles. Vexer clicked his mandibles together, creating a sound like cruel laughter. "I heard the Galactic Council called them too aggressive. Can you believe it? Humans? Too aggressive. They fought 3 wars in just 50 years, another alien added. This one had blue skin and 4 arms. The council had no choice. They had to stop them." Alex's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. His hands rested calmly on his desk. He had heard these comments before. Every day since the ban was announced, his classmates reminded him of humanity's shame. The ban had come suddenly. 3 months ago, the Galactic Council held an emergency session. They reviewed humanity's military history, their ship designs, their battle tactics. The verdict was unanimous. Humans were too dangerous. They thought too much about war. They built ships that were too deadly. The punishment was simple but devastating. Humans could no longer design or build military vessels. No warships. No fighters. No destroyers. They could only make civilian craft, cargo haulers, passenger ships, mining vessels. Nothing with weapons. Nothing made for battle. Alex remembered watching the broadcast with his family. His father, a retired military engineer, had sat in silence. His mother had cried. His sister had asked if they would have to leave the academy. That night, Alex had looked up at the stars and made a promise to himself. This ban would not break them. Somehow, humanity would prove its worth again. A loud chime echoed through the hall. Everyone fell silent. At the front of the room, Professor Zalthor entered. He was a tall, elegant being from an ancient species known for wisdom. His skin was silver, and he moved as if gravity barely touched him. "Good morning, students," Professor Zalthor said. His voice was calm and clear. "Today we begin your final project for this term." Excited whispers filled the hall. The final project was important. It counted for half their grade. More than that, it was a chance to show their skills to the whole galaxy. Representatives from major corporations and governments would come to see the presentations. "Your assignment," the professor continued, "is to design a civilian transport ship. It must be practical, efficient, and safe. It should carry cargo or passengers across the galaxy. You have 6 weeks. Begin your planning today." Around the room, alien students immediately started discussing ideas. They pulled out data pads and began sketching. Some formed groups and argued about the best designs. The energy in the hall was electric. But near Alex the mood was different. Kryn turned in his seat and smiled cruelly. "Well, human, I guess this is perfect for you. Your people can only build civilian ships now anyway. At least you can still make cargo boxes." Vexer added. His mandibles clicked with amusement. "Maybe you can design a nice, safe, boring transport. Nothing dangerous. Nothing special." Other students nearby laughed. One of them, a floating jellyfish-like creature, added, "Just don't make it too aggressive. The council might ban you from building cargo ships too." The laughter grew louder. Alex felt dozens of eyes on him. He could feel their judgment, their mockery, their certainty that humans had nothing left to offer. Slowly Alex stood up. The laughter died down. Students watched him, expecting anger or embarrassment. Instead, Alex's face was calm. His eyes were clear. And on his lips was the smallest, quietest smile. "We'll see about that," Alex said softly. He picked up his bag and walked toward the exit. His footsteps echoed in the suddenly quiet hall. As he reached the door, he pulled out his data pad. On the screen for just a moment, a blueprint flickered into view. It showed lines and curves, chambers and systems, something complex and mysterious. Then the screen went dark and Alex disappeared through the door. Behind him, the alien students exchanged confused glances. Something in Alex's voice had been different. Something in his smile had been unsettling. Professor Zalthor watched the human leave and stroked his chin thoughtfully. In the back of his mind, a small voice whispered a warning. Humans were banned from building warships. But no one had said anything about what they could do with civilian ships. And if there was one thing the galaxy should have learned by now, it was this. Never underestimate human creativity. The game had just begun. Alex walked through the empty corridors of the Academy's East Wing. His footsteps echoed off the metallic walls. Most students were still in the assembly hall, discussing their projects with excitement. But Alex had somewhere else to be. Somewhere secret. Somewhere the alien students knew nothing about. He took 3 turns, descended 2 levels, and finally stopped at a door marked Storage Room 7B. To anyone else it looked abandoned. Dust covered the door panel. The lights flickered weakly. But Alex knew better. He pressed his hand against the scanner. The door slid open silently. Inside, the room was anything but abandoned. Holographic displays floated in the air, showing ship designs and calculations. 3 other human students were already there, hunched over workstations. They looked up when Alex entered. "About time," said Maya Chin. She was a brilliant engineer with short black hair and quick hands that never stopped moving. "We heard what happened in the assembly. Kryn and his friends." Alex nodded. "Same as always. They think we're finished." "Let them think that," said Marcus Webb. He was older than the others, with gray streaks in his hair. Before coming to the academy, he had worked on Earth's military ships. He knew more about warship design than anyone in the room. "It gives us an advantage." The third person, a young woman named Sarah Kim, spun her chair around. Her eyes were bright with excitement. "Alex, we've been working on the initial designs all night. Wait until you see what we have." Alex dropped his bag and joined them at the central table. A large holographic projection appeared above it. The image showed a ship, but not just any ship. It looked simple at first glance. A standard civilian transport vessel. Long body. Smooth hull. Nothing threatening. Nothing special. "This is the exterior," Sarah explained. "It looks exactly like what they expect. A boring cargo ship. The kind that hauls supplies between planets." "But this," Marcus said, pressing a button. The hologram changed. The outer shell became transparent, revealing the interior structure. "This is what they won't see." Alex leaned closer, his eyes widening. The inside of the ship was completely different from what the outside suggested. There were hidden compartments. Reinforced sections. Strange equipment that didn't belong on a civilian vessel. "We found a loophole," Maya said, her voice filled with pride. "The ban says we cannot build warships. It says we cannot install weapons. But it says nothing about making ships that are highly efficient, highly durable, and highly adaptable. Look here," Marcus pointed to a section near the engines. "These are cargo clamps. Standard equipment for transport ships. They hold cargo containers in place. But with a few modifications, these same clamps can grab other ships. They can push them away. They can hold them still. And here," Sarah highlighted another area. "This is the shield generator. Every civilian ship needs shields to protect against space debris and radiation. But if we build it with military-grade components and power it correctly, this shield becomes nearly impenetrable." Alex studied the design carefully. His mind raced through the possibilities. "What about propulsion?" "Advanced ion engines," Maya answered. "Technically designed for efficient long-distance travel. But these engines can also produce incredible speed when needed. Fast enough to outrun most military vessels. The best part," Marcus added with a grin, "is that everything is technically legal. We're not breaking any rules. We're just being creative with civilian technology." Alex smiled. It was the same quiet smile he had shown in the assembly hall. "They banned our warships. But they can't ban our minds." "Exactly," Sarah said. "This ship won't have missiles or plasma cannons. But it won't need them. Every system serves a dual purpose. The navigation array can jam enemy sensors. The communication dish can emit disruptive frequencies. Even the cargo bay doors can be used defensively." For the next 2 hours, the team worked through every detail. They refined measurements. They calculated power requirements. They ran simulation after simulation, testing how the ship would perform under different conditions. "We need a name," Maya said suddenly. "Something that sounds innocent but means more to us." They thought in silence for a moment. Then Alex spoke. The SS Harmony. Harmony? Sarah raised an eyebrow. Yes, Alex explained. The galaxy wants peace. They want harmony. They think banning our warships will keep everyone safe. So we give them a ship named Harmony. But we show them that harmony doesn't mean weakness. It doesn't mean surrender. Marcus nodded slowly. I like it. The SS Harmony. A civilian transport vessel that happens to be the most advanced ship in the Academy. There's one problem, Maya said, her expression turning serious. We're not the only ones paying attention. Some of the alien students are suspicious. I've seen Kryn and his friends watching us. They know we're planning something. Let them watch, Alex said. They'll see us building a transport ship. That's all. They have no idea what we're really creating. But even as he spoke, Alex felt a small chill run down his spine. Maya was right to be worried. The alien students weren't stupid. If they suspected something, they would investigate. They might even report to the Academy authorities. As if reading his thoughts, Marcus pulled up another screen. I've been monitoring the Academy's communication networks. Nothing official yet. But there's been unusual traffic. Messages going to the council representatives. Spies, Sarah said flatly. They're reporting on us. Then we need to be careful, Alex said. We do everything by the book. We follow every regulation. We document everything. If anyone questions us, we show them that the SS Harmony is exactly what we say it is, a civilian transport ship. And if they don't believe us? Maya asked. Alex's eyes hardened. Then we prove them wrong. The team worked late into the night. They created official documentation for every component. They prepared explanations for every design choice. They made sure that nothing, absolutely nothing, could be used against them. As the station's artificial night cycle began, and the Academy's lights dimmed, Alex finally stood to leave. He was exhausted but energized. For the first time since the ban, he felt hope. Same time tomorrow? Sarah asked. Same time, Alex confirmed. We have 6 weeks to build the SS Harmony. 6 weeks to show the galaxy what humans can do when we put our minds to it. He walked back through the empty corridors toward his dormitory. The station was quiet. Most students were asleep. But Alex's mind was racing too fast for sleep. As he turned a corner, he nearly collided with someone. Alex stepped back quickly. In the dim light, he recognized the figure. It was Vexer, the insect-like student who had mocked him in the assembly. Working late, human? Vexer's mandibles clicked. On your little transport ship project? Just planning, Alex said calmly. Like everyone else. Planning what, exactly? Vexer moved closer. His compound eyes reflected the corridor lights in an unsettling way. Kryn says you and your human friends are hiding something. He says you're up to something against the rules. We're following every rule, Alex replied. His voice was steady. If Kryn has concerns, he should speak to Professor Zalthor. Maybe I will, Vexer said. The morning alarm echoed through Alex's dormitory room at exactly 600 hours. He had barely slept. His mind had spent the entire night running through scenarios, checking calculations, rehearsing explanations. Today would determine everything. Today the council inspector would arrive. Alex dressed quickly in his academy uniform and checked his data pad. Messages from his team were already waiting. Maya had run final diagnostics on all their documentation. Marcus had prepared presentation materials. Sarah had organized their workspace to look as professional and legitimate as possible. They were ready. At least they hoped they were ready. The Academy's main corridor was already buzzing with activity. Word had spread fast about the inspection. Students gathered in small groups, whispering nervously. Council inspections were rare. They only happened when something was wrong. Or when someone had reported something suspicious. As Alex walked toward the assembly hall, he felt eyes following him. Alien students turned to stare. Some pointed. Others whispered behind their hands. They all knew. The inspector was coming because of the humans. Near the entrance to the hall, Kryn stood with a group of his friends. The reptilian's yellow eyes gleamed with satisfaction. When he saw Alex, his mouth curved into a cruel smile. Good morning, human, Kryn called out. Big day today, isn't it? I heard a council inspector is coming. I wonder why. Vexer clicked his mandibles beside him. Maybe someone told them that certain students were trying to break the ban. Maybe someone reported suspicious activity. That would be you, wouldn't it? Alex said calmly. He stopped walking and faced them directly. You called the inspector. Kryn laughed. I simply expressed my concerns to the Academy administration. I told them that human students were spending unusual amounts of time in restricted areas, working on secret projects, acting suspicious. He stepped closer, his voice dropping to a threatening whisper. If you're doing nothing wrong, you have nothing to worry about. But if you're trying to build weapons, trying to break your ban, then today is the day you get caught. We'll see, Alex said. He walked past them into the hall. Inside, Professor Zalthor was already waiting. The silver-skinned professor stood at the front of the room, his expression unreadable. Next to him was a figure Alex had never seen before. She was tall and elegant, with pale blue skin that seemed to glow faintly. Her eyes were completely black, without any visible iris or pupil. She wore the formal robes of a council inspector, deep purple with silver symbols representing the Galactic Council's authority. Students, Professor Zalthor announced. This is Inspector Yuroka. She represents the Galactic Council's Oversight Committee. She will be reviewing some of our current projects today. Inspector Yuroka's black eyes swept across the room. When they landed on Alex, they seemed to pause for just a moment. Then she spoke. Her voice was soft but carried weight, like distant thunder. I am here to ensure that all Academy projects comply with Galactic law, she said. Specifically, I will be examining projects undertaken by human students. I will review designs, check components, and verify that no banned technologies are being developed. A murmur ran through the hall. Alex felt his heart beating faster, but he kept his face neutral. Beside him, Maya, Marcus, and Sarah sat perfectly still. Human students, Inspector Yuroka continued. Please report to Workshop Bay 7 immediately. Bring all project materials, all designs, and all documentation. The inspection will begin in 30 minutes. The room erupted in whispers. Alien students exchanged knowing looks. Some smiled. Others seemed almost sympathetic. But most looked excited, eager to see the humans get punished for whatever they had been planning. Alex stood up. His 3 teammates rose with him. Together they walked out of the hall in silence. Behind them, they could hear Crin's laughter and Vexer's clicking mandibles. Workshop Bay 7 was one of the larger fabrication facilities in the Academy. It had equipment for building and testing ship components, holographic projectors for displaying designs, testing chambers for running simulations. The humans had been assigned this bay for their project work. When they arrived, they found Inspector Yuroka already there. She stood in the center of the room, her black eyes examining everything. 2 assistant inspectors flanked her, both carrying scanning devices and data pads. Show me what you have been building, Inspector Yuroka said without preamble. Marcus stepped forward. As the oldest and most experienced, he had been chosen as the team's spokesperson. Inspector, we are designing a civilian transport vessel. We call it the SS Harmony. Here is our complete documentation. He handed her a data pad. The inspector took it and began scrolling through page after page of technical specifications, component lists, and design justifications. Her expression never changed. Her black eyes moved rapidly across the screen, absorbing information at an incredible speed. Activate your holographic display, she commanded. Show me the full design. Sarah moved to the control panel. With a few quick inputs, the holographic projector hummed to life. Above them, a full-scale image of the SS Harmony appeared. It rotated slowly, showing every angle of the ship's exterior. The ship looked exactly like a standard civilian transport. It was about 200 meters long with a smooth aerodynamic hull designed for atmospheric entry. There were large cargo bay doors on both sides. A passenger section near the front. Engine pods at the rear. Everything was clean, simple, and completely ordinary. Inspector Yuroka walked around the hologram slowly. She examined every detail. Her assistants scanned the image with their devices, checking for anything unusual. This appears to be a basic transport design, the inspector said. Explain your component choices. Marcus launched into their prepared presentation. He explained the shield generators, carefully noting that they were designed to protect against space debris and solar radiation. He described the engines as efficient ion drives meant for long-distance cargo hauling. He highlighted the cargo clamps as standard equipment for securing containers during flight. Everything had a legitimate civilian purpose. Everything was explained clearly and professionally. Alex watched the inspector's face carefully, looking for any sign of suspicion or doubt. Show me the interior layout, Inspector Yuroka said. Sarah adjusted the controls. The hologram's exterior became transparent, revealing the ship's internal structure. Cargo bays, passenger quarters, engineering sections, life support systems. A standard bridge. Everything looked normal. But Alex knew what the inspector couldn't see from the hologram alone. She couldn't see the reinforced bulkheads that were twice as strong as necessary. She couldn't see the power conduits that could channel 3 times the normal energy output. She couldn't see the hidden mounting points that could support equipment not yet installed. All of those things were buried in the technical specifications. All of them had legitimate explanations. But together they created something far more capable than any civilian ship had a right to be. No, she replied. I'm saying you should respect the rules. Follow them exactly. But understand that rules are written by those who lack imagination. Truly creative minds find possibilities that rule makers never considered. With that cryptic statement, Inspector Yuroka left the workshop. The door slid shut behind her with a soft hiss. For several seconds, the 4 humans stood in shocked silence. Then Sarah spoke. Did she just encourage us? I think she did, Maya said, sounding amazed. She knows exactly what we're building. She understands what the SS Harmony really is. And she approved it anyway. Marcus shook his head in wonder. Not all of the galaxy fears us. Some of them respect what we can do. Alex looked at the hologram of their ship still rotating above them. The SS Harmony. A civilian transport vessel that was so much more than it appeared to be. She gave us a warning and a gift, Alex said thoughtfully. The warning is clear, stay within the rules. But the gift is her approval. With an official council inspection clearance, no one can question our project now. No one can shut us down. Within an hour, news of the inspection spread through the academy. The alien students had gathered in the corridors, expecting to hear that the humans had been caught breaking the ban. Instead, they learned that the project had been fully approved. Kryn was furious. He confronted Alex in the main corridor, his purple scales darkening with anger. How? He demanded. You must have cheated somehow. You must have hidden something from the inspector. We showed her everything, Alex replied calmly. Every system. Every component. Every design choice. She found nothing wrong because there is nothing wrong. The SS Harmony is a legal civilian transport ship. You're lying, Vexer hissed. His mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of agitation. You're building a warship disguised as a transport. Everyone knows it. Then everyone is wrong, Maya said, stepping up beside Alex. We're following the law. The council inspector confirmed it. If you have a problem with that, take it up with her. The crowd of alien students murmured among themselves. Some looked disappointed. Others seemed thoughtful. A few even looked impressed. Professor Zalthor appeared at the edge of the crowd. His silver face was serene, but his eyes sparkled with something that might have been amusement. All students should return to their projects, he announced. The inspection is over. The human project has been approved. Anyone who continues to make accusations without evidence will face disciplinary action. Slowly, reluctantly, the crowd dispersed. Kryn shot Alex one final glare before stalking away. Vexer followed him, still clicking his mandibles in frustration. That evening, Alex and his team returned to their secret workshop in storage room 7B. They sealed the door and gathered around their workstation. We did it, Sarah said, her voice filled with relief and triumph. We passed the inspection. We can actually build this ship now. Yes, Marcus agreed. But the inspector was right. We have to be extremely careful. Every component we install, every system we activate, it all has to remain technically legal. One mistake and they'll shut us down permanently. Then we won't make mistakes, Alex said firmly. We have 6 weeks until the final presentation. 6 weeks to build the SS Harmony. 6 weeks to show the galaxy what human engineering really means. Maya pulled up their construction timeline on the holographic display. We start fabrication tomorrow. The Academy's manufacturing facility will produce our components. Assembly begins in 2 weeks. Testing in week 5. Final preparations in week 6. And on presentation day? Sarah asked. Alex smiled. It was that same quiet, confident smile that had unsettled the alien students in the assembly hall. On presentation day, we show them a perfectly legal civilian transport ship. We follow every rule. We break no laws. And we let the SS Harmony speak for herself. The aliens will still mock us, Marcus observed. They'll say it's just a boring transport. Nothing special. Let them, Alex replied. Their mockery doesn't matter. What matters is that we prove something important. You can limit our weapons. You can ban our warships. But you cannot stop human ingenuity. You cannot prevent us from being excellent. The 4 of them stood there looking at the holographic blueprint of their ship. The SS Harmony rotated slowly, beautiful and deceptive, powerful and peaceful, everything the galaxy didn't expect. Outside, in the darkness of space, the stars watched and waited. The game was far from over. In fact, it had only just begun. And somewhere in the academy, Inspector Yuroka sat in her temporary quarters, reviewing her report. Her black eyes reflected the glow of her data pad. She had told the council exactly what she had seen, a civilian transport ship that complied with all regulations. But she had not told them everything she had understood. She had not mentioned the brilliant engineering hidden in plain sight. She had not explained the potential contained within those innocent-looking systems. Some truths were better left unspoken. Some discoveries were better left for the universe to learn on its own. The humans had been warned and approved. Now, it was time to see what they would do with their opportunity. Inspector Yuroka closed her report and smiled into the darkness. This was going to be very interesting indeed. 6 weeks passed like a dream wrapped in exhaustion. Alex and his team worked every single day, often late into the artificial night cycles of the Academy station. They fabricated components in the manufacturing bay. They assembled sections in the construction hangar. They ran tests, fixed problems, adjusted systems, and pushed themselves to the absolute limit of their abilities. The other students watched with mixed reactions. Some remained hostile, convinced the humans were hiding something illegal. Others became curious, impressed by the dedication and precision they witnessed. A few even offered help, though the humans politely declined. This was their project, their statement, their proof. Now, finally, it was presentation day. The Academy's main exhibition hall was transformed into a spectacular showcase. 50 student projects were displayed throughout the massive space. Some were small fighter craft. Others were luxury passenger vessels. There were mining ships with massive drill arrays, science vessels with laboratory modules, and even one ambitious attempt at a mobile space station. Representatives from across the galaxy filled the hall. Corporate executives looking for new talent. Military officers scouting for innovative designs. Government officials evaluating future contractors. And of course, members of the Galactic Council itself, there to witness the next generation of galactic engineering. The energy in the hall was electric. Students stood proudly beside their creations, ready to present their work to the judges and visitors. Holographic displays showed technical specifications. Video screens demonstrated capabilities. Some students had even prepared elaborate presentations with music and special effects. Near the center of the hall, taking up significantly more space than any other project, was Crin's design. The reptilian student had built a massive luxury yacht called the Imperial Star. It was covered in gold plating and decorated with precious stones. Multiple decks housed entertainment facilities, swimming pools, and even an artificial garden. It was excessive, expensive, and designed purely to show off wealth. 200 million credits, Crin boasted loudly to anyone who would listen. My family spared no expense. This ship represents the finest in galactic luxury. It has everything a person could want. Nearby, Vexer had created something completely different. His ship was an industrial cargo hauler called the Titan's Burden. It was enormous, utilitarian, and built to carry maximum cargo with minimum efficiency. Multiple container bays could hold thousands of tons of materials. Function over form, Vexer explained to the judges. This ship prioritizes capacity and durability. It may not be beautiful, but it gets the job done. Other projects range from the innovative to the impractical. One student had designed a ship that could split into 3 separate vessels. Another had created a transport with rotating habitat rings for artificial gravity. A third had built something that looked more like art than a functional spacecraft. But everyone kept glancing toward the far corner of the hall. Toward the area assigned to the human students. Toward the space where the SS Harmony should have been displayed. The space was empty. A simple sign stood on a pedestal, SS Harmony Launch Bay 3 Live Demonstration. Alex stood beside the sign, wearing his best Academy uniform. Maya, Marcus, and Sarah flanked him, all dressed formally. They looked calm and confident, but Alex could feel his heart pounding. Everything they had worked for came down to this moment. Professor Zalthor approached with several council representatives. Among them was Inspector Yuroka, her black eyes unreadable as always. Mr. Morrison, the professor said formally, the judges are ready for your presentation. However, your ship is not here. Can you explain? Yes, Professor, Alex replied clearly. The SS Harmony is fully constructed and ready for demonstration. However, she is too large to bring into the exhibition hall. We have prepared a live demonstration instead. If the judges and guests would follow us to launch Bay 3, we will present our project properly. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. A live demonstration? That was unusual. Most students simply showed their designs and ran simulations. Actually, taking a ship out for a real flight was rare and risky. This is highly irregular, one of the council representatives said. He was a tall being with crystalline skin that refracted light in rainbow patterns. We have a schedule to maintain. I assure you, Counselor, it will be worth your time, Marcus said respectfully. The SS Harmony was designed to be demonstrated, not just displayed. Inspector Yuroka spoke up. I am curious to see what the human students have created. I suggest we accommodate their request. The crystalline counselor looked annoyed but nodded. Very well. But this presentation had better be exceptional. Alex led the way out of the exhibition hall. Behind him the judges followed. And behind them, like a curious wave, came hundreds of students and visitors. Word spread quickly through the hall. The humans were doing something different. Something interesting. Nobody wanted to miss it. Kryn pushed his way to the front of the crowd. This should be entertaining, he said loudly. I cannot wait to see their pathetic civilian transport. They probably painted it bright colors to make it look less boring. Vexer clicked his mandibles in agreement. 6 weeks of work for a simple cargo ship. The humans are desperate to prove themselves. It is almost sad. Alex ignored them. He led the massive procession through the academy corridors, down 3 levels and finally to launch Bay 3. The bay doors were sealed, hiding what lay inside. The audience gathered in the observation gallery, a large room with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the launch bay. Alex and his team took their positions at the control panel near the front. Ladies, gentlemen, and honored beings of all species, Alex began, his voice projecting through the gallery's sound system. 6 weeks ago we were given an assignment. Design a civilian transport ship. We accepted this challenge, knowing that the galaxy sees humanity differently now. We are banned from building warships. We are considered too aggressive, too dangerous. He paused, letting his words sink in. The gallery was completely silent. So we asked ourselves a question, Alex continued. What makes a ship powerful? Is it weapons? Is it armor? Or is it something else? Something deeper? Maya stepped forward. We designed the SS Harmony with a philosophy. True strength does not come from the ability to destroy. It comes from the ability to adapt, to endure, to overcome challenges through intelligence and creativity. Marcus added, every system on this ship serves multiple purposes. Every component was chosen for maximum efficiency and flexibility. We followed every rule, every regulation, every restriction placed upon us. And yet, we created something unique. Sarah moved to the control panel. The SS Harmony is a civilian transport vessel. But she is also a statement. A demonstration of what human engineering can achieve when we focus not on weapons, but on innovation. Alex nodded to Sarah. She pressed a series of commands. The lights in the launch bay activated, flooding the space with brilliant illumination. The bay doors began to open. At first there was only shadow. Then slowly the SS Harmony emerged into view. Finally, after 30 minutes of demonstrations, the SS Harmony returned to the launch bay. She settled onto her landing supports with such gentle precision that there was barely a whisper of contact. The observation gallery was completely silent. Every single person stared at the ship, trying to process what they had just witnessed. Then, slowly someone began to clap. Then another. Then more. Within seconds the entire gallery erupted in applause. Not everyone was clapping. Kryn stood with his arms crossed, his face dark with fury. Vexer's mandibles clicked rapidly with agitation. Some of the more conservative council members looked concerned rather than impressed. But most of the audience applauded. They applauded the engineering. They applauded the innovation. They applauded the sheer audacity of what the humans had accomplished. Professor Zalthor approached the human team. His silver face showed a rare expression of genuine pride. Remarkable, he said simply. Truly remarkable. The crystalline council representative who had complained earlier stepped forward. He still looked skeptical. This ship is too capable. Too advanced. The humans have clearly designed a warship disguised as a transport. With respect, Counselor, Alex replied calmly, the SS Harmony has no weapons. She carries no missiles, no plasma cannons, no particle beams. Every system we demonstrated is legal for civilian vessels. We simply built those systems to the highest possible standards. But surely this violates the spirit of the ban, the counselor protested. Inspector Yuroka intervened. The ban restricts weapons and military vessels. It says nothing about building excellent civilian ships. Unless you wish to argue that humans should be forbidden from pursuing excellence. The counselor fell silent, clearly uncomfortable with that implication. Another council member, an elderly being with wise eyes and gray skin, spoke up. I think what troubles my colleague is not that you broke rules, but that you exposed a flaw in our thinking. We banned your weapons. We restricted your military. But we forgot that human strength never came from weapons alone. It came from your minds. Alex met the elder's gaze. We respect the ban, counselor. We will not build warships. But we will not apologize for building excellent civilian ships. The galaxy wanted us to focus on peaceful purposes. So we did. This is what human engineering looks like when we pursue peace with the same passion we once pursued war. The elder counselor smiled. Well said, young human. Well said indeed. As the judges dispersed to discuss and score the presentations, the gallery began to empty. But many visitors stayed behind, approaching the human team with questions and compliments. Corporate representatives handed them contact information. Academy professors congratulated them. Even some of the alien students who had been hostile before now looked at the humans with new respect. Kryn pushed through the crowd, his face twisted with anger. You cheated somehow. This is not fair. My ship cost 200 million credits. Yours is just a transport. Your ship is beautiful, Alex said diplomatically. But it is a yacht. It serves one purpose, luxury. The Harmony serves many purposes. That is the difference. You made us all look bad, Vexer hissed. The judges will give you the highest scores just because you are human and they feel sorry for you. Or, Maya suggested quietly, they will give us high scores because we earn them. Before the argument could continue, an alarm suddenly blared through the station. Emergency lights began flashing red. The alarm was sharp, urgent, and terrifying. Professor Zalthor's voice came over the communication system, tense with worry. Attention all personnel. We have received a distress signal. Pirates are attacking a civilian convoy in the adjacent sector. Multiple vessels are under assault. Station security forces are responding but are outmatched. All military vessels in the area are requested to assist immediately. The gallery erupted in panic and confusion. Pirates were rare but dangerous. They operated in small, fast ships and targeted vulnerable transports. A full pirate fleet could overwhelm unprepared defenses. How many ships do we have that can help? Someone shouted. The Academy has 3 security vessels, Professor Zalthor replied over the speakers. But they are patrol craft, not equipped for serious combat. What about the student projects? Another voice called out. Most are unarmed. The few with weapons are not ready for actual combat. They are prototypes, untested in real situations. In the confusion, Alex turned to his team. Their eyes met. No words were needed. They all understood what had to happen next. Alex pressed the communication button. Professor, this is Alex Morrison. The SS Harmony is fully operational. We can help. The gallery fell silent. Everyone turned to stare at the humans. Mr. Morrison, Professor Zalthor's voice was careful. Your ship is a civilian transport. It has no weapons. You cannot engage pirates. We don't need weapons, Professor, Alex said clearly. We just need to be smart. Kryn laughed harshly. This is insane. You will get yourselves killed. Pirates have plasma cannons and missiles. Maybe, Alex replied. He looked at his team. Are we doing this? Yes, Maya said immediately. Absolutely, Marcus agreed. Let's show them what the Harmony can really do, Sarah added with a fierce smile. Alex turned back to the communication panel. Professor, we are launching immediately. We will assess the situation and provide whatever assistance we can. There was a long pause. Then Professor Zalthor's voice came back, filled with concern but also with resignation. Understood. Be careful, students. The galaxy cannot afford to lose brilliant minds like yours. The human team ran from the observation gallery toward the launch bay. Behind them, the entire audience rushed to the windows, desperate to see what would happen next. Inside the SS Harmony, Alex settled into the captain's chair on the bridge. Maya took the engineering station. Marcus manned navigation. Sarah handled communications and sensors. All stations report ready, Alex said calmly. Engineering ready. All systems at full power, Maya confirmed. Navigation ready. Course plotted to distress signal location, Marcus reported. Communications ready. I am monitoring all emergency channels, Sarah added. Alex took a deep breath. This was it. The moment of truth. Everything they had built, everything they had planned would now be tested for real. Harmony, Alex said to the ship's AI. Take us out. Maximum speed. Acknowledged, Captain. Engaging engines. Departure in 3, 1. The SS Harmony shot out of the launch bay like a blue comet, her engines blazing at full power. Within seconds she was gone, racing toward danger, toward pirates, toward a battle that would test everything the human students believed about strength, creativity, and what it meant to be truly powerful. In the observation gallery, hundreds of beings watched the empty space where the Harmony had been. Some prayed, some worried, and some, like Inspector Ka, simply smiled. The game had just become very real, and the galaxy was about to learn a lesson it would never forget. A voice responded through the speakers. It was artificial but warm, the ship's computer interface. All systems nominal. Engines at 20% power. Ready for departure sequence. Initiate demonstration protocol, Alex commanded. Acknowledged. Demonstration protocol initiated. In the launch bay, the SS Harmony began to move. Not with the jerky, uncertain movements of a new ship on its first flight, but with smooth, confident grace. Maneuvering thrusters fired in perfect coordination. The ship lifted off the bay floor, rotated 90 degrees and aligned with the exit. The audience watched in fascination. Even this simple movement was executed with a precision that spoke of sophisticated control systems. Harmony uses an advanced AI-assisted navigation system, Sarah explained. The computer monitors thousands of variables simultaneously, making micro-adjustments to maintain perfect stability and control. The ship glided forward, through the magnetic containment field that kept the bay pressurized, and out into open space. The cameras mounted around the station tracked her movement, displaying multiple angles on screens throughout the observation gallery. Free in the vacuum of space, the SS Harmony began her demonstration. First, she accelerated. Not gradually like most ships but with sudden, breathtaking speed. One moment she was drifting at station-keeping velocity. The next, she was kilometers away, leaving only a blue streak across the cameras. Maximum acceleration of 12 Gs, Marcus announced. Most civilian ships manage 3 to 4 Gs. Military vessels average 8 to 10. The Harmony decelerated just as quickly, coming to a complete stop almost instantaneously. Then she began a series of maneuvers that should have been impossible for a ship her size. She spun on her axis. She reversed direction without turning around. She performed a barrel roll that would have made a fighter pilot proud. Enhanced maneuvering thrusters at 48 points around the hull, Maya explained. She can move in any direction with equal ease. No blind spots. No vulnerable angles. But the demonstration was just beginning. Harmony, activate defensive systems, Alex commanded. Defensive systems activating. Around the ship, a shimmer appeared in space. The shield generators powered up, creating a visible energy field that enveloped the Harmony in a protective bubble. Shield strength exceeds military-grade specifications by 40%, Marcus said. Duration at full power is approximately 18 hours. At lower power settings, the shields can remain active indefinitely. One of the council representatives stood up from his seat. Those shields are too powerful for a civilian vessel. This violates the ban. Inspector Ka raised her hand calmly. The shields violate no regulations. High-quality shields are legal for civilian ships. They simply chose to build excellent shields rather than adequate ones. Alex continued, Harmony, demonstrate cargo handling systems. The ship released several practice cargo containers from her holds. They drifted in space around her. Then the cargo clamps activated. Mechanical arms extended from the hull, but these were not ordinary cargo clamps. They moved with incredible precision and strength. They grabbed containers, moved them, rotated them, and returned them to the holds in a choreographed dance. Those clamps can hold 200 tons each, Sarah noted. They can also be used to grab disabled ships for rescue operations, or to push debris out of collision courses, or for any number of emergency situations. Several people in the audience began to understand. Those clamps were officially cargo equipment, but they could also be used defensively to grab and control other vessels. The demonstration continued. The Harmony displayed her communication arrays, powerful enough to broadcast across entire star systems. Her sensor packages, sensitive enough to detect a single ship at extreme range. Her environmental systems, capable of supporting life for months without resupply. Every system was impressive. Every capability was justified as necessary for civilian operations. And yet, together they created something that was far more than the sum of its parts. Acknowledged. Maximum power engaged. We will reach the fleeing vessels in 90 seconds. The Harmony surged forward, her engines glowing white-hot. She accelerated faster than any transport ship should be able to, pushing against the limits of her design. Behind them, the rescued convoy watched in awe as their savior chased down the pirates who had terrorized them. The pirate leader saw the Harmony gaining on them. Impossible. How is that ship so fast? His second-in-command's voice was panicked. Boss, we cannot outrun it. What do we do? We fight, the leader screamed. Turn and fire everything. Even a civilian ship can be destroyed if we hit it enough times. The two pirate ships spun around and unleashed everything they had. Plasma cannons fired continuously. Missiles launched in volleys. Every weapon system they possessed focused on the approaching Harmony. Incoming fire is heavy, Maya reported, her voice tense. Shields are being tested. Transfer auxiliary power to shields, Alex ordered. Sarah, can you jam their targeting systems? Already on it, Sarah replied. But at this range and with this much fire, jamming is only partially effective. The Harmony's shields flared brilliant blue as they absorbed hit after hit. Explosions bloomed across her protective barrier. The ship shook from the impacts, alarms blaring on the bridge. Shields at 40%, Maya called out. We cannot take much more of this. Alex's mind raced. They were too close to retreat now. The pirates were desperate and throwing everything at them. If the shields failed, the Harmony would be destroyed. But if they could just get close enough. Marcus, how close are we to tractor beam range? 15 seconds. Maya, channel everything, life support, internal lighting, everything non-essential, into the shields. Just for 15 seconds. Alex, that is dangerous, Maya protested. If something goes wrong. 15 seconds, Alex repeated firmly. We can hold our breath for 15 seconds. Maya hesitated only a moment, then nodded. Rerouting all power. Shields now at maximum possible capacity. The lights on the bridge dimmed. The air circulation stopped. Every system except shields, engines, and maneuvering went offline. The Harmony became a dark missile, protected by a blazing shield, hurtling toward the enemy. 10 seconds. The pirate weapons continued firing. The shields held. 5 seconds. A missile detonated directly against the shield. The Harmony shuddered but kept coming. 3 seconds. The pirates realized they had made a mistake. They tried to turn and flee again. Too late. Tractor beam range. Marcus shouted. Lock onto both ships. Alex commanded. Full power. The Harmony's tractor beams lanced out, invisible fingers of gravitic force that grabbed both pirate ships simultaneously. The pirates tried to escape, their engines screaming, but they were held fast. We have them, Sarah said with fierce satisfaction. Alex opened a communication channel. His voice was calm but carried absolute authority. Pirate vessels, this is the SS Harmony. Power down your weapons and engines immediately. Surrender and you will be held for trial. Resist and we will disable your ships permanently. The pirate leader's voice came back, filled with hatred. You think you have won? You are just students. Just a civilian ship. We will. You will surrender, Alex interrupted coldly. You attacked innocent people. You chose to be criminals. Now you face the consequences. Power down. Now. There was a long silence. Then one by one the pirate ship's systems went dark. Their weapons powered down. Their engines shut off. They hung in space, trapped in the Harmony's tractor beams, defeated not by weapons but by intelligence and determination. Maya, restore normal power, Alex said, his voice suddenly tired. Sarah, send a message to the convoy and the academy. Tell them we have secured the area. As the bridge lights came back on, Alex slumped in his chair. His hands were shaking. The adrenaline that had kept him focused during the battle was fading, leaving exhaustion in its wake. We did it, Sarah said, her voice filled with wonder. We actually did it. 8 pirate ships, Marcus said, checking his tactical display. 6 disabled or damaged. 2 captured. 0 casualties on our side or the convoys. Using nothing but civilian systems and creative thinking. Maya turned to look at Alex. They will never underestimate us again. Alex managed a tired smile. That was the point. The communication console chimed. It was Captain Ranks from the convoy. SS Harmony, I do not know how to thank you. You saved not just our cargo but our lives. What you did out here. I have never seen anything like it. You do not need to thank us, Captain, Alex replied. Just get your medical supplies and food to the colonies safely. People are counting on you. We will, Captain Ranks promised. But I will make sure everyone knows what happened here today. I will tell them how 4 students in a civilian ship defeated 8 pirates without firing a single shot. The galaxy needs to hear this story. Another channel opened. It was Professor Zalthor. Mr. Morrison, the entire academy has been watching. Military vessels are now arriving to collect the prisoners and provide escort for the convoy. You and your team are ordered to return to the academy immediately. Understood, Professor, Alex acknowledged. We are on our way. As the Harmony turned toward home, Marcus spoke quietly. Alex, we crossed a line out there. We used the Harmony in combat. The Council might see that as a violation of the ban. We used her to protect innocent people, Alex corrected. We broke no laws. We installed no weapons. We simply used the tools we had in creative ways. If the Council has a problem with that, then they need to ask themselves a question. What question? Sarah asked. Alex looked at his team, his friends, his fellow humans who had accomplished something impossible. Do they want to ban human ships? Or do they want to ban human thinking? Because if they try to ban our thinking, they will fail. You cannot legislate away creativity. You cannot regulate imagination. And you cannot stop people from solving problems in new ways. The Harmony flew through space toward the Academy, her hull scarred from battle but intact, her systems functioning perfectly, her crew exhausted but triumphant. Behind her, she left 8 defeated pirate ships and 6 grateful transports. And ahead of her, waiting at the Academy, was a galaxy that was about to learn a lesson it would never forget. The humans were not finished. They had only just begun.